Hello, welcome to the session on percentages. What do you mean by percentages? Why at all are percentages there in this world? Where is it used in real life? Percentages mean percent, means per hundred. Or, in simple words, if the reference value is 100, what would the present value represent? It is done to bring numbers to a common base. And why do we need common bases? Because it is easy to compare things that have a common base. Can we compare apples and oranges? Can we compare AIEEE and KEAM examinations? Can we compare CBSE and ICSE? No. So, to compare between two unequal things, you have to bring them to a common base at the bare minimum. On top of that, we can keep on adding parameters to make the comparison even better. But the basic need is to convert to a percentage. Where do we use percentages in real life? We always use percentages in real life. Interest rate on fixed deposits, survey results, vote share, stock market returns, marks, attendance, etc., etc., etc. It is a very integrated part of our lives, the percentages. Percentages means per hundred or out of 100. It can be stated as something with respect to 100. The key point to understand here is that the reference point is 100, and for all percentage values, the reference point will be 100. That is a basic concept of percentages. Let us discuss this. I got 461 marks in an examination. My friend got 462. Who performed better? Can we compare them just like that? No. To know the better performance, we need to know what the maximum mark is for these exams. 461 is out of how much? 462 is out of how much? We need to know these. I got 74 percentage marks and my friend got 75 percentage marks. Who performed better? It's a straightforward answer now. That is why we use percentages to compare performances, and that is what we do for most of the time with percentages. Till now, we were trying to understand the physical meaning and usage of percentages. Now, let us see what the mathematics behind it is. How we can calculate percentages. Look at the slide. The question is, A is what percentage of B? The question, in simple terms, means if B becomes 100, what will A become? This, as we have done in smaller classes, can be explained as B corresponds to A. Therefore, 1 will correspond to A by B and 100 will correspond to A by B into 100. This is similar to the example that if 2 toffees cost rupees 10, what will 1 toffee cost? Find out the cost of 100 toffees. The same principle is used here. If B corresponds to A, what will 1 correspond to? Therefore, what will 100 correspond to? So, the answer to the question is A by B into 100. It is important to note here that there needs to be a basis for calculation of percentages. Percentages means out of 100, and something has to be converted to get to the answer. That particular something has to be found out, and that is the single most important task in finding out percentages. In this example, B is equated to 100. Why? Why not A? Here, it is important to read the question carefully. The question asks, A is what percentage of B? The reference value here is B because the question asks to find out A as a part of B and not vice versa. Hence, B becomes the basis of calculations. The best possible method to understand this concept is look at your own marks carefully. We will always use percentages here. Let's look at it carefully. If you get 546 marks out of a total of 600, it means that you've got 546 divided by 600 into 100 percentage in the examination. Or, in other words, if the total were 100, you would have got 546 divided by 600 into 100 marks. Here, we equate 600 to 100 and find out the value that is termed percentage marks. Representation with a reference point 100 is called percentage representation. A is what percentage of B? B is what percentage of A? I have given two statements here. Are the questions the same? We explained the concept of basis a little earlier. Is it clear? Think about it. Is it the same? In the first case, the question is to find out A with respect to B. In the second case, it is to find out B with respect to A. In the first case, therefore, the basis of calculation will be B, and in the second case, it will be A. The bases are different, so the values may also be different. How do we find them out? A by B into 100 is the answer to the first question, and B by A into 100 is the answer to the second question. Depending on the values of A and B, you will get the answers. Why do we have to learn percentages? The answer is, it will keep us in good stead in our lives. You grow up and reach a good position. Now, you invest your money in the stock market. On the first day, the broker says you've gained 10%. On the second day, he says you've lost 10%. You're neither happy nor sad because you feel things have evened out. Now, let us take a good look. Suppose you invested rupees 100 in the market. On the first day, you will get rupees 10. So, now you have rupees 110 with you. On the second day, you lose 10%. That is 10% of 110. That is rupees 11. Now you have rupees 99 only with you. If you do not understand the concept of percentages, you will stand to lose in many cases like this. As regards your aptitude test preparation is concerned, percentages is very important because all database questions will have percentages. Majority of questions will have percentage questions or applications. Let us have a look at some application problems. Refer to the questions Q1 to Q7. A, B, and C are 2, 3, and 4 respectively. Q1. What percentage of B is A? Q2. What percentage of A is A? Q3. What percentage of A is B? Q4. What percentage of C is A? Q5. What percentage of C is B? Q6. what percentage of B is C? And Q7, what percentage of A is C? The key to answering all these questions will be in identifying the basis of calculation. The basis of calculation will be in the denominator. Now think and find out the answer to each one of this. The answers are Q1, A by B into 100, that is equal to 2 by 3 into 100, that is equal to 66.66%. Note that the basis here is B. Q2, the answer is 100% and the basis is A. Q3, the answer is 150%. Here also the basis is A. Q4, the answer is 50%. Note that the basis here is C. Question 5. 75% is the answer, and here again C is the basis of calculation. Question number 6. 132%. The answer is based on B. Q7, 200% is the answer and the basis of calculation is A. Once we know and understand the basis, the remaining calculations are simple and happen naturally. So, the identification of the basis is the single most important thing in calculations. Now, let us understand the representation of percentages. Decimals and percentages are used interchangeably in many cases. What is the relation between the two? 42 upon 50 equals 0.84. This means 42 is 84% of 50. And what is the conversion from decimal to percentage? Percentage is decimal into 100. Similarly, decimal is percentage divided by 100. All said and done, it is important to know how questions are framed under the concept of percentages. Let us see some examples. By what percentage is A less than B? What percentage of A is B? What percentage is B of A? The second and the third type have been dealt with extensively till now. Let us have a look at the first type. In the first type of questions, there is a difference quotient attached to it. Let us examine that in detail. By what percentage is A less than B? This question states that A is less than B and it urges us to find out the percentage of the difference with respect to B. The question wants us to find out the magnitude of the difference with B as reference. So, in our age-old counting system, we will start reverse counting from B to find out the difference between A and B, and therefore B is the basis on which the calculation will happen. Let's see. By what percentage is 10 less than 12? 10 is less than 12 by 2. By reverse counting 12, 11, 10, that means 10 is 2 less than 12. Therefore, the answer to the question will be 12 minus 10 upon 12 into 100. To make the concept clear, we shall look at some more questions. Take a look at questions Q8 to Q13 A, B, and C are 2, 3, and 4 respectively. Question number 8. By what percentage is B more than A? Question number 9. By what percentage is A less than B? Question number 10. By what percentage is B less than C? Question number 11. By what percentage is C more than A? Question number 12. By what percentage is C more than B? Question number 13. By what percentage is A less than C? Here again, I will urge you to read the questions carefully and identify the basis of calculations. In question number 8, the answer would be B minus A divided by A into 100, that is equal to 50%. It is very important to note that the basis of calculation here is A. In question 9, the answer would be B minus A divided by B into 100, that is equal to 33.33%. Note carefully that the basis here is B. In Q10, the answer is 25%, and the basis of finding out the answer is C. In Q11, the answer is 100%, and the basis is A. In Q12, the answer is 33.33%, and the basis of calculation is B. In question number 13, the answer is 50%, and the basis of calculation is C. Here again, if you had found out the basis carefully, other things would have followed suit. The basic error that happens in the calculations is the wrong assessment of the basis and nothing else. So, be careful in finding out the basis. As a good student and one who wishes to perform well, the points to note in the calculations of percentage problems are: basis. Be sure that you identify the basis properly. Look at the denominator. Invariably, the basis of calculations will form part of the denominator in the calculations. Look carefully at the kind of representation in the questions. The two forms are by what and what. The kind and representation of the questions is very important, and you have to read the questions carefully before answering the questions. Let us look at some examples as questions to apply the concepts. Try out the questions 14 and 15 given in the slide on your own. In question number 14, if you read it carefully, the question is: 20 is what percentage of 80? The answer is 25%. How do we get that? It is 20 divided by 80 into 100. Question number 15. By what percentage is 25 more than 20? Answer is 25%. How? 25 minus 20 divided by 20 into 100. Read question number 16 carefully. Last year, the company's sale was 150 lakhs. This year, it is 200 lakhs. What is the growth percentage of sales? The answer is 33.33%. And how do we get that? 200 minus 150 upon 150 into 100. Question number 17. By what percentage is the Indian population growing if it was 120 crore last year and if it is 124 crores this year? The answer is 3.33 percentage. 124 minus 120 is 4, and 4 upon 120 into 100 is 3.33 percentage. Did you get all of it right? If you did, you are on track. Otherwise, go through the module once again. The majority of questions will be in good English, and generally, the standard of English in such questions is very high. So you need to be sure that you're good in English so as to comprehend what is written and to understand the questions and data given. Reading the questions well is the key to understanding the basis well. And unless you're not able to finalize the basis, you cannot get to the answer. In case you're not able to comprehend the concept of percentages, you can take it for granted that you're not going to clear the aptitude tests. A good way to understand percentages is to look at those figures that come in the newspapers and try and make sense out of those figures. A more important way would be to listen to English news channels and look at such figures as and when they come. A better way would be to listen to the financial news channels. Over the course of this chapter, we have understood the definition of percentages, the concept of percentages, the types of questions in the aptitude tests from percentages, the application of percentages in real life, and the approach to solving problems. Please keep in mind that all these aspects are important for you in life and very important from the aptitude test perspective. Make sure that you do as said in this chapter for better performance. Thank you.